Welcome Divisional NFL Weekend Fantasy Pros. My name is Andrew Erickson, aka the Props Prophet, and today I'm coming at you with my favorite player props on PrizePicks for Divisional Weekend. Look, last week on Absolute Heater, Browns-Texans went 5-0 on those picks, 6-4 overall. Let's keep the train rolling into Divisional Weekend. Again, if you don't like my picks, you can always check out more props on PrizePicks with the Betting Pros PrizePicks cheat sheet, which pulls the highest plus EV plays every single week based on the player projections. Now, time has come to unveil my top 10 early PrizePicks player projections. And guess what? 10 more thans. I am the Undertaker, no more. Here we go. Devonta Singlet, more than 54.5 rushing yards. Devonta Singlet once again spearheaded the Texans' backfield in the wildcard round, rushing 13 times for 66 yards and 1 touchdown. He had another big run called back due to a holding penalty. He logged 72% of the snaps on offense. Meanwhile, Dameon Pierce had just 3 carries and played just 13% of the snaps. Singletary's stranglehold on the RB1 job in Houston has not budged at all. So I'm leaning toward the more than on Singletary's rushing line prop set at 54.5 rushing yards this week. He's gone over in 5 of his last 6 games, and the Ravens' run defense has hardly been a gauntlet to run against. Since week 6, they've allowed nearly 100 rushing yards per game to opposing running backs, at the second highest yards per carry in the league at 4.8. 6 of the last 7 running backs they have faced have gone over 55 rushing yards. Same matchup on the other side of the football. Isaiah Likeley, more than 43.5 receiving yards. If Mark Andrews doesn't play, we should see another massive game for tight end Isaiah Likeley. The Texans are allowing the most receiving yards to tight ends this season at 65. We took the more than on David Njoku, so we're going to follow suit by taking the more than on Likely's 43.5 receiving yards prop against the Texans. He has 40 or more yards in 5 straight games as the Baltimore Ravens starting tight end. Next matchup here, 49ers taking on the Green Bay Packers. George Kittle, more than 52.5 receiving yards. The Packers bleed big gains to tight ends. Second highest yards per reception allowed to the position. They also rank 26th in DVOA against the position. So we saw this 49ers offense take on Joe Brady's Green Bay defense twice back in 2021, with George Kittle being the constant threat that was very productive. He went over 52 yards in both those games against the Packers defense. He's also gone over 52.5 receiving yards in 4 of his last 5 games, including 6 of the 49ers' 7 home games played this season. Give me all the George Kittle against the Packers. And give me Christian McCaffrey more than 88.5 rushing yards. Again, it is very much pick your flavor when it comes to chasing the more thans on 49ers players because we know their offense scores at will. But the over on Christian McCaffrey's rushing yardage at 88.5 yards might be the most obvious and safest wager to make in this matchup. He's gone over 6 of his last 8 games played, and in the one game he didn't finish because of an injury. So the Packers can be easily run on, and I expect a full workload for CMC off 2 weeks of rest. Let's go Christian McCaffrey. On the other side of the football in this matchup, Green Bay Packers quarterback Jordan Love, more than 249.5 passing yards. Look, I expect another high-octane and volume passing effort from Jordan Love in this spot. The 49ers have allowed the 3rd most completions to quarterbacks this season. 4 of the last 5 quarterbacks 49ers have faced have completed 22-plus passes. 8 of 11 have hit the over on their completions prop. So you're going to see more volume across the board for all the Packers quarterback. Love has gone for 255 plus yards in 8 of his last 10 games played at 80% hit rate. Love pairing Love with his number 1 receiver as well, Jaden Reed, more than 3.5 receptions. Reed was not needed last week, going 0 for 3 on his targets in the wildcard round. Still, he ranked 3rd in snaps from the slot at 46% snap share, and he only ran 11 routes overall, with the Packers winning with efficiency, not volume, in their passing attack against Dallas Cowboys. I expect Reed to bounce back in a big way as the Packers' number 1 wide receiver. Note that the 49ers have allowed the 5th most catches to wide receivers this season. Reed is the quick read slot option for Jordan Love, who should look to his rookie frequently in this matchup. Before last week, Reed had gone for at least 4 receptions in 8 straight games, so I absolutely love the Jaden Reed more than 3.5 receptions. I think this one is easy, folks. Get on it. Moving ahead to the next matchup here, Lions and the Buccaneers. Jared Goff, more than 271.5 passing yards. The Lions are going to host another playoff game in the divisional round against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Given the pass funnel nature of the Buccaneers defense, which has faced the 5th highest pass rate this season, lock and load the more than on Jared Goff's passing yards prop this week. He has 270 plus yards in 4 of his last 5 games, and at home, he's gone over this in 4 of his last 5 games at Ford Field, aka the Coors Field of the NFL. He also threw for 350 yards the last time he faced the Buccaneers defense earlier this season, and that was road Goff. Home Goff is going to shred this Buccaneers defense. Let's go Jared Goff. And who better to pair him with than his number one wide receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown, more than 88.5 receiving yards. Look, the Sun God is on an absolute heater right now, posting bonkers numbers every single week. He's gone for 95 or more receiving yards in 7 of his 8 games played at home this year. No fewer than 77 receiving yards in any home game played this season. He has 90-plus receiving yards in 4 straight games. And better yet, Amon-Ra went for 124 yards when these teams last played earlier in the season on the road. We trusted in the Sun God last week, and he didn't let us down. Rinse and repeat, Amon-Ra. Here we go. On the other side of the football in this matchup, Baker Mayfield, more than 247.5 passing yards. We all saw Mayfield absolutely cook the Eagles like a Thanksgiving turkey in the first round of the NFL playoffs. 337 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns. The yardage will not stop this week against the Lions. The Lions have allowed an absurd number of passing yards over their last 4 games. Nearly 380 passing yards per game. Stewart has also allowed the most passing yards of quarterbacks over the last 6 weeks of the NFL. Look, Mayfield has also gone over this number in 4 of his last 5 games, so I think this is an easy over. I love the over in this game. I think we're going to see a lot of passing yards from both Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield. Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford hit their overs on passing last week. I think we're going to see the same thing again with Jared Goff and Mayfield going over their passing yards props. And if Mayfield's going over, you're going to expect a big game from Mike Evans. Mike Evans, more than 67.5 receiving yards. Because there's really no better pair than Mayfield with Mike Evans. And I have to imagine that the horrible Lions secondary is the eruption boom spot for Mike Evans after a few down games. Evans has a whopping 265 air yards over the last 2 weeks, but he has 70 actual receiving yards. Simply put, regression is coming in the form of yardage in this spot for Mike Evans. Look, the last time he faced the Lions, he earned 10 targets and saw 127 air yards. And the Lions defense is the gift that keeps on giving 2 downfield targets. The Lions rank first in air yards and second in average depth of target faced this season. Wheels up for Mike Evans, who's going to finally convert on some of these downfield targets from Baker Mayfield. That's concluded my favorite PrizePicks player projections for the NFL Divisional Round. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. And better yet, go to the Betting Pros app, follow all my bets there, and also check out the prop bet cheat sheet over on bettingpros.com. Again, has all the highest plus EV plays in the NFL playoffs. Thanks for watching, and good luck this playoff weekend.